Welcome to the channel, where we delve into the world of Stoic philosophy and learn how to apply its principles in our everyday lives. If you're looking to find inner peace, master your emotions, and accept what is inevitable, this channel is for you. Today, we are starting to explore one of the most important Stoic themes: how to accept what we cannot change, and how to find strength and calm in doing so. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell so you won't miss new episodes. Each lesson is a step towards a more resilient and peaceful state of mind. Share this video with your friends so we can all study Stoic wisdom and apply it to our lives. Emotions and Stoicism. Managing feelings. Emotions are an integral part of human nature. They can be a source of joy and inspiration, but also a cause of stress, fear, anger, and disappointment. Stoicism teaches us that the key is not to avoid emotions, but to learn how to properly manage them. The Stoics believed that our emotions are often the result of incorrect beliefs and perceptions of the world, and that we can learn to control our responses by adjusting how we relate to external events. Stoic philosophers like Epictetus, Seneca, and Marcus Aurelius argued that emotions are not something that happens to us by chance. They are reactions of our minds to events, and these reactions can be controlled. The Stoics distinguish between two main types of emotions. 1. Natural emotions, such as joy, fear, or surprise, which are natural reactions to events but are not necessarily rationalized. 2. Secondary emotions, such as anger, envy, despair, or grief, which often arise from incorrect perceptions of reality or excessive expectations from ourselves and others. The Stoics believed that we could manage these emotions by understanding what we control. They divided everything that happens to us into two categories: what is in our power, our thoughts, actions, reactions, and what is outside our control, the actions of others, external circumstances. Why do emotions control us? Our emotions often arise as automatic reactions to events. For example, someone might insult us, and we immediately feel anger or offense. Or we might receive good news, and our response is joy. These reactions may seem natural and inevitable, but the Stoics teach us that much of what we feel is the result of incorrect perceptions. At the core of this belief is the idea that it is not events themselves that cause our emotions, but our interpretation of them. How do the Stoics teach us to manage emotions? 1. Awareness and acceptance. The first step in managing emotions is recognizing what we feel and accepting these feelings. It is important not to ignore or suppress our emotions, but to acknowledge their existence. Recognizing what you feel helps you become more mindful and prevents your emotions from taking over. When you experience strong emotions, take a moment to understand what you are feeling and why. For instance, if you feel anger, ask yourself, "What exactly made me angry?" Or, "Why am I reacting so strongly?" This helps you realize that your emotions are not always justified or appropriate to the situation. Example, if someone says something unpleasant, instead of immediately responding with irritation, pause and analyze what you feel and why. Perhaps this emotion has no real basis, and you'll find it easier to remain calm. If someone says something unpleasant, instead of immediately responding with irritation, pause and analyze what you feel and why. Perhaps this emotion has no real basis, and you'll find it easier to remain calm. Stoicism teaches us that emotions are not enemies to be fought, but a natural part of human existence that can be understood and controlled. Managing emotions takes time and practice, but with the guidance of Stoic philosophy, we can learn to respond to events consciously and with greater wisdom. The Stoics believe that by properly managing our emotions, we can achieve inner peace and harmony, which helps us live a happier and more successful life. Accepting what we cannot change. Stoicism teaches us a fundamental principle: accept what you cannot change. This is an important concept, closely linked to the idea that our inner world and our reactions to events matter more than the events themselves. We can influence only our thoughts, feelings, and actions, but not always the external world or the behavior of other people. This understanding helps us to let go of unnecessary stress and disappointment, leading to inner peace. Every day, we face situations beyond our control. These could be other people's behavior, natural disasters, economic crises, or even our own health. If we try to control or change what we cannot, we only increase our suffering. This leads to anxiety, frustration, and anger because we are fighting something that is impossible to change. From a Stoic perspective, anxiety arises when we try to change things that are beyond our control, or when we worry about things outside of our influence. Stoics teach us to understand and accept that there are things that simply cannot be changed. This awareness helps us achieve peace of mind and avoid unnecessary suffering. How does Stoicism help us learn to accept the inevitable? 1. Clear distinction between what is in our power and what is beyond our control. One of Stoicism's core principles is the division of all events into two categories: what we can control and what we cannot change. We can control only our thoughts, actions, and reactions. Everything outside of these bounds, the behavior of others, nature, random events, is not within our power. Stoics argue that when we separate events into these two categories, we're able to let go of feelings of helplessness and stress. Accepting that some things are beyond our control allows us to focus on what we can change and not waste energy worrying about things we cannot influence. When you face an unpleasant situation, the first step is to assess what in this situation is under your influence and what is not. For example, if someone breaks their promise or offends you, you cannot change that person's behavior, but you can control how you respond to it. Accepting this truth helps free you from unnecessary distress and allows you to focus your energy on a constructive response. If you experience job loss, realize that you could not influence the company's decision. But what you can do is take steps to find a new job, improve your skills, and view this as an opportunity for a fresh start. 2. Meditation on impermanence. Stoics also recommend meditating on the fact that everything in life is temporary and changeable. This practice helps develop the ability to accept changes and losses. Instead of dwelling on the past or worrying about the future, Stoics suggest focusing on the present moment and recognizing that all circumstances, whether positive or negative, are part of the natural process of change. Regular meditation or reflection on the fact that everything is subject to change helps strengthen acceptance of life's fluctuations. For example, contemplating that no one can avoid aging or death makes us more prepared for the inevitable. When experiencing painful loss or a significant life change, remind yourself that this is inevitable and that all changes are a part of life's process. The sooner you accept this, the easier it becomes to adapt. 3. Not attaching ourselves to specific outcomes. Stoics teach us not to be attached to specific results, but to focus on the process itself. For instance, you may strive for success in business, but the outcomes often depend on external factors, economic conditions, competition, or even luck. Stoics believe that what matters is not the outcome, but what we do to reach it. Instead of expecting everything to go according to plan, learn to enjoy the process and the effort itself. If the result doesn't meet expectations, you can still take pride in your efforts and growth. If you are working on a project and it doesn't bring the success you anticipated, Instead of feeling discouraged, focus on the fact that you put in effort and gained experience that will help you in the future. This mindset allows you to avoid disappointment. Fourth, reprogramming negative beliefs. Stoics also encourage us to reassess our negative beliefs and perceptions about challenges. For example, many people believe that everything beyond their control will inevitably lead to negative outcomes. Stoics teach us to view external circumstances not as obstacles, but as opportunities for growth and development. When something is out of your control, ask yourself, how can I use this situation for personal growth? This helps change your attitude toward difficult situations and learn valuable lessons from them. If you failed to meet a deadline, instead of blaming yourself or stressing out, think about how you can improve your planning skills or ability to work under pressure, which will help you become more resilient in the future. Accepting what we cannot change is a crucial element of Stoic philosophy. It allows us to free ourselves from anxiety and fear about things we cannot control. Stoics teach us the wisdom of humility and acceptance, which is the key to inner peace and harmony. Once we begin to see that many things are simply beyond our control, we gain the ability to focus on what truly matters: our attitude toward life, our personal growth and development. Practical tips: how to apply Stoicism in everyday life. Stoicism is not just a theory or philosophical concept. It is a practical guide that can help you live more consciously, calmly, and harmoniously. In everyday life, we face numerous problems and difficult situations, and Stoicism offers several tried and true methods to help us cope with these challenges. How to apply Stoicism in practice. 1. The first response technique. Every day we encounter situations that may trigger stress, anxiety, or irritation. Stoics teach that the first step in such situations is to be aware of what we are feeling. It is important to realize that your first emotional reaction to a situation is not always the right or productive one. Often we react impulsively without realizing that we can change this response. When something upsets or worries you, take a pause. Before reacting, stop for a few seconds to become aware of your feelings. This can be as simple as taking a deep breath or enjoying a moment of silence to think about how you want to respond. Ask yourself, can I change this situation? If the answer is no, then try to change your reaction and perception. You are stuck in traffic. Instead of getting angry, ask yourself, what can I do about this? Nothing. So what can I change in myself? I can be patient and use this time to reflect. Second, practice gratitude. Stoics have always emphasized the importance of gratitude, and this is no accident. We often focus on what we lack, the problems we need to solve, but Stoics teach us to notice what we already have. Gratitude for the little things and the awareness that we have the opportunity to live in the present moment can significantly improve our emotional state. Take a few minutes every day to write down what you are grateful for. These can be major events, health, family, a successful project at work, or small things that may go unnoticed. Warm sunlight, a cup of coffee, or an interesting book. It's important to remember that gratitude for what we already have helps reduce anxiety and strengthen positive emotions. Every morning before you start your day, write down 3 things you're grateful for. It can even be something simple, like having a roof over your head or waking up in a good mood. Third, meditation on death. This may seem unexpected, but Stoics often recommended contemplating death as a way to value every moment of life. This is not a reason for depression, but rather a reminder that time is limited. When we realize our mortality, we start to approach what we do and what matters to us with more consciousness. It helps us make each day more valuable and directs our efforts toward the things that truly matter. Regularly remind yourself that life is finite. This does not mean living in constant fear, but it helps you focus on the present. Use meditation to simply reflect on how you would like to be remembered and what actions in life seem most important to you. In this context, death becomes not a threat, but a stimulus for life. Occasionally spend a minute each day thinking about your own mortality. It helps you make more conscious choices, appreciate time, and act as if each day were your last on earth. The distinction between the controllable and the uncontrollable. One of the central teachings of Stoicism is the awareness that there are things we cannot change and things we can control. This understanding helps reduce stress and anxiety because we begin to realize that it is not worth wasting energy on things beyond our influence. Make a list of what you can control in your life and what is out of your hands. For example, you cannot control how other people behave, but you can control how you respond to their actions. If you understand that you cannot change circumstances, try to change your perception of the situation or focus on what you can do yourself. If a colleague is irritating you, you can't change their behavior, but you can change your response, not reacting to their words, not arguing, not taking on their emotions. 5. Exercises in self-discipline. Stoicism also teaches us self-discipline and managing desires. Often, we strive for things that do not bring long-term satisfaction, and this can be a source of stress and discontent. Stoics teach us not only to control our emotions, but also our desires in order to avoid excessive longing for pleasures and focus on what truly matters. Conduct a pleasure-free day, or at least a few hours, during which you abstain from all comforts, no delicious dinners, social media, or other usual distractions. This helps you learn to appreciate what really matters and build resilience to inner desires. Try to spend a day without using your mobile phone, ordering takeout, or watching TV. This experiment helps you realize what you truly need for happiness and what are just short-term pleasures. The practical application of Stoicism in everyday life helps us find inner harmony, reduce stress, and live more consciously. By understanding the difference between what we can control and what we cannot, developing discipline and gratitude, we learn to live with greater meaning and peace of mind. Remember, Stoicism is not just a theory, but a practical guide to life. Every day that you apply these principles, you become a better version of yourself. This brings us to the end of today's journey into the world of Stoicism. I hope these ideas help you find peace, strengthen your inner world, and learn to accept what we cannot change. Remember, the path to harmony begins with small steps, and each practice makes us stronger. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, give it a thumbs up, and hit the notification bell so you won't miss any new episodes. Leave a comment, share your thoughts and questions. I'd love to hear from you. In our next video, we'll continue exploring Stoicism and how to apply it in daily life.